Hello and welcome back to part 3 or another episode of What I Used to Forget, right after the intro. Okay, well, I did say there would be 3 to 5 of these, right? And to be honest, I kind of struggled a little bit with the third one. But then I remembered the grid application. The grid application is just as humongous as any other application in Scriptcase. It is massive. And one of the things that I first struggled with, it took me like 2-3 times to remember it. So I thought I would add it. And that is here for the grid application. Now, if I run this now, we have here a normal grid. And it is one of those from here within the samples template. So if you haven't generated this yet, do generate it. It has many secrets in here. You want to check this, okay? There are good examples in there for you to follow and replicate within your own applications. So if you don't know how to create a chart, a Gantt chart, a summary, they're all in here. You just need to open them up and check them out. Okay, so with the grid application, the summary and the chart, as we see here, they're not available. Okay, they're just not available in here. Now, if I check here also the toolbar, the buttons are also not available. Okay, so with the grid here enabled summary and chart, they're not available here in the toolbar. They will not be available within the application. Okay, the functionality is there, but you haven't actually added the possibility for the user to actually view that data here. So that is one thing to be aware of. The next thing is that to have a summary and to have a chart, you need to group your data. Okay, you need to group your data. If your data is not grouped, you will not have a summary. You have no data to chart with. You have lots of lines, but that's all you have. So what you need to do then is come here to the group by and set a static group by. Now we have also the option here for a dynamic group by. And the difference between the two, well, one is static, the other is dynamic. And that of course may not mean anything to some, but static means it is set. You set that group by, and when you start the application, you will have that group by. The dynamic group by will provide you with a button, and with that button then you can select the group by, which is quite interesting actually. Much nicer than the static group by, which then I only use in certain scenarios where it makes sense to have a static group by. Otherwise, here the dynamic group by presents us that option where we have a button and we can dynamically change the data that we are viewing. So this is definitely more the option for the administrative side. So here for the group by, I just need to drag a field here into the group bys. And if I want a grid total and summary total, I can drag, for instance, here the record count into here the summary totals. And if I wanted to say count here the credit limit of a certain person, I could place that here within the grid totals. Okay, and then here you notice for both of these options, for the credit limit and the record count, we have some extra options here within this drop down menu. Now do always be aware of these mini transparent, non-visible drop-down menus and the little pens and pluses that you have beside these boxes, because generally they will lead you somewhere that will allow you to make further customizations. And that is, again, maybe tip number 4 already, look, because that would also be something I would sometimes miss during the creation or replication of some of those projects. Now, it is important to note that you will only have the values available to you that is available within the database. Okay, so for instance, if I create a field here, I will not be able to group by it. I will not have grid totals. I will not have summary totals. Now here I'm already jumping into tip 4 and making this video a little longer. So I hope you're paying attention, guys, okay, and gals, okay, girls and gals, and yeah, everything else. So with that, if you are here and you are not seeing an option, check if there is a little drop box, check if there is a little pen, because in some of the options you will have those features, and there is where you will be able to further customize the application. Okay, so if I go ahead and run now, let's have a check of our grid, and we see again I've enabled here the dynamic select group by, and I can come here to settings and I can enable tree view as well as other options as well, but it is enabled. I have select here my fields and they are available here. The region ID is available. Okay, so I need to come here to the toolbar and then scroll down here, and then here I have then the options for here, the dynamic search, the columns, the group by. So if I add that in here, and then I will have then also the group by options. I can add the columns or sorting options, the jump to, the rows count, a help case, reload, or whatever else is there. Now, some of those, of course, you may want to have in the bottom toolbar. Now, do note that you can control them both separately and adjust where you want to have each button. Now, considering we're on that topic, let me throw my next tip in there. Macros, macros, macros. You can add all of these buttons and hide them from your various groups or from specific users, or when a variable or a function or whatever you like has a specific tag, whatever. It is all possible. Check out the macros, and that blows up the application much more. Okay, so with that, if I go ahead now and run the grid application, I now have the group by, and if I click on that, I now have here the dynamic group by selection. Now notice it opens in a modal window. I can change this as well, so it actually opens here in the toolbar, and that is all within the settings. So here I only have region available, and you see I can drag and drop that and then just choose OK, and that will then change by region. And remember what I said about digging deeper? So here we have here region 1, region 2. Okay, so to customize that, I could have the region already pre-configured here within my fields. Now I have the option of dragging and dropping or adding that field into the fields and then adjusting that and then hiding it again, or I can just come here to the region ID here and make the adjustment for this value only. Okay, and leave the grid as it is, because if I'm customizing it here, I'm customizing it for everywhere. So meaning if I'm adding a select here and a select here, I'm creating two selects. Okay, so in this case, I'm just having the one select, and I'll just go automatic here, and that will then choose here the region table, which I hope there we go. There's the region table, and it's the region description we want to display. I'll check that, choose the connection. Now if I go ahead and run the grid again, I may have an error. Yes, so I'll put that to one side for now, and let's just run again. We have then our grid application, group by, our region. Okay, that, and now we have that corrected. So just to show you that this error a lot of times doesn't mean anything, and I can click on that, and this is more than likely what you will get is, you know, during some save there, but then just what you want to do is just put the error to one side. You can close it even and actually go ahead and save. Here we go, tip 6. Look, already quite a few tips within this video. So yes, close the error window, save the application again. Okay, now I'm getting the error again, so maybe I would want to say, hey, Scriptcase, why am I still getting this error now? But of course, for that, I'm sorry, you will need tickets. So we have that in here, and of course I could dig into why we're getting the group here. I have the dynamic group. So this is something to do with Scriptcase entirely, but you see here, it is working beautifully. There are no issues. And of course, if there are issues, I'm sorry, you will have to open a ticket. Okay, so I think that is it for this week's video. Quite a few tips in this one, so I hope you have paid attention. Of course, if not, you can always pause, rewind, rewatch, and well, that's why I've made it as a video for you, so that you can just tag it, watch it whenever you need. So I think I may have one or two other videos coming up because I was requested to create some specific videos. So I'm going to throw those together, and after that we will be going to the one video a month and then snippets every week from those main videos. Okay, so the first month there may be no snippets. We'll see. Maybe I will cut these videos up into shorter videos as well, so that you have some of those tips, well, in a specific place. Okay, so thanks very much for watching. Again, I hope you have liked this content, the video, and if it has helped you in any way, please do like the video, please do subscribe to the channel, and of course, comment. Let me know how it's helped you. If there is any other way I can help you, if there are specific videos you would like to see, if, what, where, and when. They are always the questions. So for now, until the next video, thanks for watching and have a great day.